And welcome to the Bad Business Show, EP.2 of Season 5. In this episode, I'm going to call it Fake Republicans as Backward Liberals, acronym BSAM, and you'll learn why when I get to that topic, and Deport Ukrainians. Now, in the first topic, why I say fake Republicans and as backward liberals. Well, first of all, I'd just like to point out that the other day I was just searching different things and I came across some Christians and Texans. And the things that I heard was ridiculous. Their claims on the Noah's flood and all this nonsense. Now, the worldwide Noah flood that reached and as they claim, that flooded Texas is only words of some of the most dumbest people on earth. Some of the most dumbest people I have ever had the displeasure of hearing. Those morons clearly do not know any geology nor geography. Noah's flood, flooding the New World and Texas, is just some of the most dumbest shit that anyone can ever say. And it is without a doubt, it definitely comes from Christians, came from Texans. These people are morons. You cannot claim, I don't know how they can even claim that Texas and the New World was flooded. That's just crazy. Because you know what? If that were to be true, let's use the next time there is a Category 5 hurricane in Florida or, somewhere here in the South, and let's see where that Category 5 hurricane floods. Because if it's just in that general area that it's, going over, raining, hurricaning on, and it's not like flooding some other parts of the world or like the rest of the world or the rest of the United States, then, it is quite impossible for the entire world to be flooded because of Noah's flood. That is just, I think their brains are operating on the delta brainwave, which is pretty much, your brain is pretty much comatose. It's dead. It's asleep. It's pretty much, you're supposed to be asleep or you're in a coma because it's not really functioning. Okay, personally, mine operates at gamma. You can't get any more alive than gamma brainwaves, okay? In indigenous Europeans that believe in a culture that is not your own race, I just want to let you know, that makes you a liberal, a non-conservative, and a fake Republican. I'm pretty much talking to all those on the right who claim that they're conservative and they're Christian, or they're conservatives because they're a Christian. No. Let me explain something to you. You are an indigenous European embracing a culture that is not yours, because that culture actually belongs to the Semitics. Jesus Christ was a Semitic. You are not a Semitic. If you're an indigenous European, you're not a Semitic. So if you are embracing a culture that is not yours, that makes you a liberal, a very liberal thing to do. That means your lifestyle is very liberal. That makes you overall very liberal, making the liberals who do not embrace that as backwards. As backwards. You people on the left and the right are so ass backwards. You're so confused, so stupid. Holy fucking shit, you people are morons. Ass backwards on everything. You people are just stupid. That's just anybody with a logical mind that looks at this entire situation, you'd be like, okay, you're preaching one thing, you're saying one thing, but you're not that thing on both sides. It's just, you people are morons. It just comes down to the bottom line. You people are all fucking morons. Get out of politics. You people are fucking morons. Stop talking on media. You're mass spreading stupidity, creating more stupid people, confusing even more stupid people, make them even more stupid and retarded. Get out. That you're not educated at all. You people are morons. It's ridiculous. In continuance, women. This is mostly for women in sports, okay? Hey, in Semitic culture is pretty much Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, Muslim, all that Semitic stuff, all that Semitic culture. Just like to let you know that if you claim any of these and you are an indigenous European woman or you are a woman, just like to let you know that sports culture is not actually invented by them. It's actually indigenous European, Native American sports culture. We have our own sports gods. We have sports culture came from our culture, us indigenous European in Mesoamerica, that predates Semitic culture by thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So if women, that's for starters, if women want to play sports, they don't want transgenders and homosexuals to play on their team or fight against them and compete against them, then it sounds like you are in the wrong culture, because part two to this is that, hey, newsflash, Semitic culture is not polytheistic. They're not polytheistic. That means they are not, they don't have male and female deities. They don't, they're just one male dominant, and that male dominant deity, Jesus Christ, or through him, whether he is or with him. Just like to point out that he is a criminal. He's a bastard, which makes you not a conservative. If you're a bastard, that is so not conservative. So that is not conservative. He's a criminal who rebelled against the Roman Empire and an insurrectionist and treasonous traitor. So one, he's a terrible example. He's a criminal. None of that is conservative. None of that is law-abiding. And there is so much more. Actually, I teach in my Cage Boss Academy books, Volume 1 specifically, and particularly Cage Boss Academy Volume 1 Special Edition book. And I can teach you a lot more there if you enroll as a student in my school. But to complain on the right-wing media and you're claiming that you're a Christian and blah 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 blah. No, you're pretty much saying, hey, I am supposed to be a Christian. I'm just a woman and I'm just gonna be submissive. That's pretty much what you're supposed to be as a woman in Semitic culture, as a Christian, as a Catholic, as a Muslim, as a Jewess in Judaism, because women have no roles in these cultures. They're not polytheistic. It's not a polytheistic culture. There's no female deities. It's a male dominant culture. This is not for you. That is not if you're gonna claim women's rights, that is not for you. Just like to give you the heads up. It should have been like an eye opener, like an eye opening, when you went and you started hearing, if you comprehended anything these people have been preaching, like I do, it should have been the biggest clue that they are to begin with is because they're not polytheistic. That's the biggest clue. They oppress women. They're not in favor of women. It's women are supposed to be submissive to the men, and yeah, pretty much that is the biggest clue. That should have been like the biggest eye opener right there. And second, that there's nothing in their culture that is sports related. They were not the inventors of sports culture. They don't have sports gods. They didn't even invent a rubber ball. Okay, they didn't even know what a ball is. Okay, that's just one right there. Moving on to the next topic. Personally, about me, I came across another moron, another scientist on television saying that he is going to fund a school. Now, what type of school this was, which is what caught my attention, it was a school to rehabilitate people who get out of jail or prison. Now, here's my thing on it. My Cage Balls Academy, my portion of my Cage Balls that is a school, it will never facilitate or rehabilitate or train people that get out of jail or prison. I have a huge problem with those type of people. One, you and I do not get along. We did not get along in any portion of my life. When I was in grade school, when I was 11 years old, I decided I wanted to be a scientist and a businessman. And then later on September 11, 2001, when the 9/11, I was watching the terrorist attack. I said, you know what? As a descendant from Spain, I saw, well, the Moors are attacking us again, like Spain all over again here in the United States. I gotta go fight some more Semitic Moors. These Jews are the Jews and the Moors. Wherever these two go, there's always a problem, and they bring their stupid problems and war right to our indigenous European doorsteps. I gotta go handle this stuff. So pretty much, I set myself up for success. Those criminals, I grew up with many people who decided to be little thugs and little criminals, who did not prioritize their lives. That's you criminals. You ended up choosing the career criminal lifestyle. You should have tried harder. You should have prioritized your life. If you are learning late or because of failures and because of your struggles, then my school will definitely not be for any of this. But it sounds like a rehabilitation school is not really for you. What you need is to change your thought process, because it's all about your thought process and how you prioritize and view society and culture and everything it needs to change. All these little rappers, I want to be a little thug and a little rapper or criminal. That little thug mentality, that little shit that has got to be thrown out the window, that has got to go like that, that's got to go, because that is what's causing all you wannabe criminals, all you Jesus Christ criminals. It's pretty much what you are, a little fucking Semitic criminal. You're garbage, you're shit. You're never really going to get anywhere in life. That's pretty much it. You need to change your thought process. Moving on to the next following topic. This is where I come up with the acronym BSAM. What is BSAM? And what does it have to do with this topic? Well, BSAM is an acronym for Bernie Sanders, a moron. Bernie Sanders, a moron. Yes, Bernie Sanders is a moron. Bernie Sanders, he's talking about healthcare and healthcare, free healthcare for everybody, healthcare this and healthcare that. He's a fucking Jew. He's a piece of shit motherfucker. Let me tell you why. Just like a fucking Jew, he wants to deceive everybody. He's a liberal. He wants to deceive everybody. And all those liberals and Democrats, they just want to control you. Just like how they manipulated the 2021 political pandemic. It's pretty much a political pandemic, because the initial wave, the main wave, was in 2020. But in 2021, everything was already better enough. But they worsened it. They claimed it was, they just prolonged it. They made it worse. They blah, 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 blah. It's the political pandemic. all these Jews, all these liberals. Bernie Sanders a moron. He's the biggest moron talking about healthcare. That's his whole stupid ass career, talking about healthcare. Now let me tell you, this is why we have so many people. United States is number one for the number one killer in the United States is stress. Number two is heart disease. Number three follows with metabolic syndrome, which is pretty much why COVID-19 in 2020 devastated a lot of people, because it primarily targeted those with metabolic syndrome, which is diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. These issues is metabolic syndrome. All these issues essentially can be reversed and reduced if you exercise, eat a balanced nutritional diet moderately. You can eat excessive as long as you excessively exercise. It's all about balance. And you live a healthy lifestyle. Keep a positive mind, keeping your aura and your ambience very positive. But if you're a Bernie Sanders liberal Jew piece of shit that wants to control you, like those liberals and Democrats and all these losers, of course they want to control you because they want healthcare. They want to drug up people, just like the political pandemic. They want to drug you up. They want to keep you comatose. They want to control you. They don't want you to prosper. They don't want you to live a healthy life. They don't want you to live a healthy, long life. They want you to be a lazy piece of shit. They want you to be a lazy, ill piece of shit. And that probably won't live long because laziness kills, and laziness leads to disease and illnesses. So if you don't exercise, you don't eat healthy, you won't live a healthy lifestyle, and your life expectancy shortens drastically, along with any other bad habits that you may have, like smoking or anything else. So I say the opposite of Bernie Sanders. I want to reduce the cost of government spending for metabolic syndromes, for diabetes, all these insulin people. You know what? If you can't exercise, it's nature. Nature's telling you, hey, if you're a lazy piece of shit, you have too much sugar, which sugars can easily be consumed. It is the first thing to be consumed when you in the bloodstream, and is used as energy, the glucose. If you don't exercise and you have excessive amount of sugar and excessive amount of glucose, and then just preventing, and then at that point when it's accumulated, your liver just stops producing its natural own insulin. It's pretty much telling you, hey, motherfucker, you need to get the fuck up and do something, like exercise, get this shit out of me. I'm not gonna produce any of this stuff to store it away. You need to do something about this. You reach your limit, you reach your capacity. Your body's naturally telling you, but if you want to try to cheat it, so you can't naturally cheat to Mother Nature. I'm sorry, that it just doesn't work that way. You will have negative effects. You will be ill. Your body doesn't function that way. So if you need to exercise, you should just die. I mean, you're not naturally going to adapt. It doesn't work that way. Your body physiologically, biologically does not function that way. So you know what? Go ahead and just die. It's the nature, rule of nature, the law of nature. It is not, just like one of my heroes, one of my most favorite people of all time. Unfortunately, he's classified as one of those dead people, but as an evolutionary biologist, as my lead study, Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest that survives. It's not the most intelligent that survives. It is she or the species that can best adapt that will survive. I semi-quoted him. I added the he, she, and the species. If you cannot adapt to the exercise that you need to do, if you cannot adapt to this, you will not survive, literally. It does not apply to any law or anything of that. This is the rule of nature. The law of nature. You need to adapt, you need to exercise, you need to do this stuff. Your body needs to physiologically adapt to what it is that you're consuming, to your life. Because if you don't exercise, you're just going to die. We need in the United States a very healthy and strong people nation, especially now that more the liberals, because they're doing exactly what Obama is doing. The Trump administration is doing exactly what the liberal Obama administration was reducing the military. What we need now more than ever is a strong people nation, because these morons are cutting the military. Liberals cut the military. I'm telling you, those people are like fake Republicans. They're not real Republicans. They're liberals. They're fake Republicans. And they're cutting the military. And the most important thing that we need right now is we need a healthy and strong people nation. We do not need a weak one. Do not rely entirely on technology for defense. That's absurd. That's insane. You won't survive, because there's a way around all that. Okay, there is a way around all that. And the next thing I want to talk about, because I believe that topic is done for, is Ukrainian immigrants. That in Alabama, recently in Alabama, there was a Ukrainian immigrant who was here. I'm sure he was here, one of those people that came here from Ukraine, blah, 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 blah. He had a work permit visa. He was a truck driver, and he just took his semi-truck, 18-wheelers, and just negligently just rammed it right through a whole bunch of cars, killing a whole bunch of people in Alabama. Now, let me tell you, I do not like Ukrainians, never did. I don't believe they should have been here in the New World. They need to go back to Ukraine. Ukraine is technically part of Russia. They were never supposed to be separated. That is all a Democrat and liberal orchestrated nonsense that's created all that garbage and all those problems, and they all need to go back. I personally know a whole bunch of Ukrainians, immigrants, that have literally screwed me over, and where my business is headquartered, is established and headquartered in Broward County, Hollywood, Florida. All these Ukrainians need to be deported back. They're immigrants. They're green cards, or some of them don't even have a green card. They're falsifying marriages to get a green card. They are all very illegal. I personally know this hands-on. I know these people for many, many, many years. And they're corrupt, they're fraudulent, they're terrible. They personally screwed me over, and screwed many other Americans over, and even other immigrants as well. They're a bunch of pieces of shits, and they all need to be deported. Every single one of them. If my indigenous European, Native American, Hispanics are being deported because of the acts of a few stupid ones, then you know what? I want all those Ukrainians, every single one of them deported. I want every fucking last single one of them deported. Not one of them should be here to begin with anyway. They have their own lands out there. They need to go back to Ukraine. Simple as that. I want them all deported. I want the ones in Alabama deported. Well, he was probably going to get the death sentence for here, but all the other ones need to be deported. Every single one of them need to be deported. I do not want them in my new world. I do not want them here in the United States. Do not want them in Alabama, and I do not want them in Florida. Do not want them anywhere. They all need to go back to Ukraine. Simple as that. I'm not even going to further talk about that issue, because it's going to get me really pissed off and start cursing at everybody. So, and the last thing I want to talk about is IDs, all this real ID shit. Let me just tell you, let me keep this very short and simple. Real IDs are stupid. Just get a fucking USA passport ID card and or a passport book. Like I did 10 plus years ago, okay? Stupid people in politics have been passing these laws to do all this real ID shit, and it just overlaps with the purpose, one of the purposes that we have the USA passport for. Okay? All the nonsense that makes up a real ID, the USA passport is essentially for that reason. Hey, it says that you're born here. Hey, it says that you're born here. You get it because you are a born citizen of the United States, or you are a naturalized USA citizen. That is the reason why there was a real ID to begin with, to say, hey, you need to bring in your birth certificate to the DMV to say that you can get a real ID and a gold star because you are born here. Hello, that's why, one, we have birth certificates, and two, we have USA passports, ID cards, and passport books. You want to know if I was born here? Fine. Just ask, I want to see a USA passport or your birth certificate. Very simple. You can ask for that as an ID. It's not discriminatory to ask for these things. It's very simple. It beats the purpose. Transportation, asking for all this shit. Personally, I'm in favor of shutting that. One of my things as a presidential candidate for 2024, as the independent, one of my policies that I was going to implement, I'm going to get rid of the entire DMV. When I run in the future again, my policy will remain the same. I'm going to shut down the entire DMV. Driver's licenses are completely outdated. Those people there are fucking morons. All we need is just an education course. And that's it. Driver's license is completely outdated. All this shit, all these policies that overlap one another, from the federal sovereignty to local state policies. Local state is not sovereign over federal. USA passports are federal. It is nationwide. And that is sovereign over all these dumbass fucking real IDs nonsense. It's all stupid. Fucking garbage, and it essentially takes away money from the federal government. You could pay down a lot of the debt if everybody is to have at least a passport ID card or a passport book. But stupid people just want to cut jobs, like stupid Elon Musk and Dodge doesn't even think about these things because that's how stupid they are, and that's how unaware they are of the entire USA ecosystem. Unlike me, I'm very well aware of everything that's going on in every single aspect of the United States, from the civilian sector, public civilian sector, to government, to military, to everything. Social, political, economically, I'm very well aware of everything that's going on, and I base all my policies based on this, everything that's going on. We have, like I said, we have a lot of fucking morons in politics. We've had a lot of morons previously in politics. They're no longer in politics, but nonetheless, they're all fucking morons, and people in media and in everywhere else, there are fucking morons. None of these people should be ever dictating a damn thing or speaking, much less some of them are speaking on mass media, and they should not be speaking on mass media because, as I said in previous episode, it is harmful to the general public. You are, one, spreading misinformation, omitted false information. Anything omitted, of course, is misinformation or indirected to the facts. It's misinformation. And it is harmful to the general public. One, you are spreading lies, misinformation. It's uneducated. It's misinformative. All you people are essentially just stupid people rambling, saying stupid nonsense. And please don't just stop speaking, period. You're stupid people. You're absolutely stupid people. That is stupid leadership. In the USA, we do not need stupid leadership, just the same way we need. Fuck you, Bernie Sanders. You're a fucking moron. I cannot fucking stand you for nothing in the world. I cannot stand you. I cannot continue to reiterate how much I fucking hate you, you stupid son of a bitch. Just shut the fuck up. Look at you. If anybody wants to know why, listen. Just look at him. Do you want to look like that fucking weak, pathetic piece of shit, or like weak, pathetic Trump? Look at him. Like, if Shakira were to look at this guy, she'd be like, "Damn, that guy got those hips do not lie," because the guy is fat. Like, you're great. You're great fat. I'm not great. I'm not dumb as Bernie Sanders. You two are old geezers who are fucking fat and out of shape and a bunch of weak losers. We do not need that. You don't represent me personally. I'm too awesome. I'm awesome. I'm fit. I'm super strong. I'm super fast. I'm awesome. This is the difference between great and awesome. I'm not weak and pathetic like you people. And I'm not trying to inhibit my people in any way. I'm not trying to control them. I'm not trying to keep them weak and pathetic and stupid like all of you people are. That's just not the way real leadership is supposed to handle a government or lead its people. I don't believe in that. That's not real leadership. That is stupid leadership. That is shit leadership. And that is not going to get us anywhere in the future in a positive aspect, in any aspect at all, whether it's socially, economically, or politically. It's not going to get us anywhere. So pretty much that concludes everything I wanted to talk about, the news for this week. My The Bad Business Show news podcast, episode 2 of season 5. This is the conclusion of fake Republicans, ass backwards liberals, BSAM, aka Bernie Sanders a moron, and Deport Ukrainians. Here I am signing off. The owner of The Bad Business Show, Luis Oliveira. Until next time.